Okay, so I just had to do this video now. I'm skipping pretty far ahead here. And the reason behind this is I've been watching Through the Wormhole on TV, and science is catching up rather quickly. So, now that I know for a fact that there's physical scientific proof behind a lot of the stuff that I was going to put out later anyways, I figured I'd show you some of it now. And one of them is your sphere of personal influence. It's you. Got a smile on your face because you're happy. Now, what is your sphere of personal influence? Well, when you cast your circle in Ritual, in essence, that is your sphere of personal influence. That's the whole point of having the circle there, is you're acknowledging the fact that you have one and that you can have an impact on the space contained therein. That is the occult reasoning behind it. But what is the scientific thing? What is the scientific side of things? Well, the sixth sense is the ability to detect information at a distance. What does that mean? The Earth has a magnetic sphere, which everybody should know from going to school, called the ozone layer. This magnetic sphere encompasses the Earth and protects it from radiation, stuff like that. But it has more uses than just that. This is how birds and herd animals migrate. Birds find out where they're going on the Earth through magnetic fields. Now, even though we don't know that we use this, it stands to reason that, yeah, everything on the planet of Earth uses this sphere to some degree, just like a bird would, just like any kind of animal would, because we're all animals on planet Earth. Now, how does this correlate to your sphere of personal influence? The reason why I made this video is because the episode of Through the Wormhole was talking about morphic fields, and they tried to say that it's a sphere of influence kind of around your head that can project thoughts onto things. They were showing scientific proof that having someone sitting next to a random number generator can make the random number generator not so random, just by them focusing their thoughts on that number. But that's a little half-assed, and that's because, like I said, science is just starting to catch up. The sphere of personal influence, just like the Earth, is a magnetic field caused by you, and it's centered at your solar plexus. And just like the Earth, it encompasses your entire body. Now, scientifically, it looks like that. But for you and for any occult worker, you visualize a 9-foot circle that then becomes a 9-foot sphere. 9-foot in diameter sphere that is around you, above you, in all directions. And that is your sphere of personal influence. And that is also the point of drawing a 9-foot circle on the floor. Not because drawing it on the floor is going to protect you from anything, because if you're not aware of what's going on, that 9-foot circle isn't going to do dick. The 9-foot circle is there So you get used to seeing it. So you acknowledge that your sphere of influence is there, because acknowledging that it's there reinforces it. And now your consciousness has begun to direct energy into it. So it's not just a subconscious operation anymore. You are consciously reinforcing your sphere of personal influence. And this is what spiritual entities cannot penetrate. It's what you are reinforcing in the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, is your sphere of personal influence. Starting to make sense now, huh? Now, just like birds have their own sphere of personal influence that guides them in their migrations north and south, because obviously a bird doesn't have a fucking compass. Responds to the Earth's magnetic influence. It's a communication between the two. If you put two magnets near each other, you'll get a good scientific experiment that shows you what I mean by that. Is you will very easily be able to see the magnet sphere of personal influence when they repel or attract to each other. And the same goes for this. That is how clairvoyance, psychic phenomenon, and every supernatural, supernormal event is explained through this process right here. The Earth's magnetic sphere communicating with your magnetic sphere. That is the secret right there. That is your sphere of personal influence, your sephira, your felt round, because it's felt all the way around. There's a lot of different names for it, but that's what it is, and it is there. And the more you acknowledge it's there, the stronger it gets. The stronger it gets. There's a lot more going on in Through the Wormhole than just this. They're also talking about parallel dimensions, which I think I've already went over a little bit, saying that you have not only your physical body, but you have an astral body, you have a body of Venus, a Venusian body, you have a body of Mercury, a body of the Sun, a body of Jupiter, a body of Mars, a body of Saturn. All of those planetary influences. You have a planetary body existing in that planetary sphere. These are a lot like parallel dimensions. And that's the episode that I have on mute right now of Through the Wormholes, going into that, parallel dimensions, how there is another version of the Earth right over top of this one where Russia won the Cold War. And there's another one right over that where robots rule the Earth. And another one right over. There's infinite possibilities. And so not only do you have a planetary body in each sphere of planetary influence, you have millions and trillions of other bodies. Every time you make a decision, time fractures. And the decision you did not make becomes a separate existence in which you did make that decision. So I woke up and I made this video before taking a shower today. Now, in a alternate dimension, there is a version of me that woke up and did not make this video. Instead, went and took a shower and went about my day. Millions and trillions of other alternate realities. Why is that important? It's not, really. It's trivial, to say the least. It's an anomaly in the system. and it was unexpected consequences. The reason why your consciousness is focused here is because the decisions really don't matter. No matter which decision you make, you're always going to be focused here. It's always going to lead back there. So the fact that these alternate realities exist and split off is really irrelevant to the fact that you've made the decision, you're back here, and you will always be flowing in that fashion. The only importance of this system is to acknowledge the fact that these other realities do exist, and it is possible to transfer between them, to travel between them. Going so far as to travel into every subalternate reality is a little out there. Because, I mean, just to try to think of every subalternate reality that could exist is something that a human mind can't even wrap its fucking hands around. I kind of got a headache just thinking about it. But for now, the planetary spheres, that's what's important. Acknowledge the fact that you have 9 other bodies besides the one you're in right now. And I'll be getting back to you with the tarot exercise of the fourfold right, which is a breathing exercise to practice rhythmic breathing. Have a good day.